Hey everyone, welcome back to Both Sides of the Bed with Kemesha, where we get real about relationships, growth, and the messy parts in between. Today, we're diving into something so many people deal with quietly: co parenting with a narcissist. Now, let's be honest, co parenting is hard enough to deal with when two people are healthy and emotionally aware. But when one person is controlling, manipulative, or thrives on chaos and also lacks accountability, it becomes a battlefield for peace. And if you're not careful, your peace and your child's peace can get caught in the middle. Today, we're having a real conversation about how to deal with a parent, heal and set boundaries when your co parent constantly cross the lines. I have a special guest today joining me who's lived this journey firsthand. And I know her story will resonate with so many people and so many of you. My guest today is Maria, a strong, resilient woman who has learned how to co parent with someone she describes as a narcissist. She's learned, sometimes the hard way, that boundaries aren't just for peace, they're for survival. Maria, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
That takes so many courage to be here.
Yes.
Not only to share your story, but, to put yourself out in the public.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yes.
and I know you'll be helping so many other people who are suffering in silence, who are scared to say their truth,
Mm-hmm.
and just be honest about what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
First, let's just say at the beginning that um, we're not aware or sure if this person that we will be discussing is narcissistic or is diagnosed a narcissist.
Right.
But today's Maria's story about the treatment, the signs, the manipulative, the lack of accountability,
Right.
all the narcissistic trait that you have seen.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of questions from our audience
Okay.
and from me as well. So let's start from the beginning
I'm ready.
and we can ask, can you share a little bit about what co parenting looks like for you? And when did you realize your ex might have narcissistic traits?
So co-parenting for me, I do have a blended family. I have four kids. My oldest is 12 and 11, and they have the same father.
Okay.
And my stepson is 5, and the baby is about to be 3 years old.
Okay.
So co-parenting, we tried in our home with, well, we tried to have a co-parenting relationship with the father. We tried before.
So you have how many kids with your
Yes.
ex?
My first two.
Your first two, and
Yes.
they're 11 and
12.
12. Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I tried the co-parenting with him. They're 12 years old now. And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
When did you realize your ex might have narcissistic traits?
Right. So, I guess I should backtrack a little bit.
Yes.
Our relationship was toxic from the beginning. I'll say, I was young. I was pregnant with my oldest at 22. So I didn't know what boundaries look like at the
Okay.
time. I didn't know how to have a relationship with myself, like
It's
a
okay. You were
healthy
young and in love.
relationship. Yes. And so yeah, there was a lot of chaos. There was cheating, and
I'm so sorry.
yeah. And then I started learning about what narcissistic traits were on social media, because that's where I started seeing, like, I started looking into like healthy boundaries, or how to self-love. Like I was practically educating myself on social media, because
Okay.
I didn't know where to turn to, although I did try therapy at some points, but
Okay.
I never stuck to one up until recently.
So you went to therapy with him, or
No.
by yourself? You tried after leaving, or while
Yeah.
you guys were together?
After leaving,
Okay.
I did try for him to attend therapy with me, but he
Okay.
didn't want
That wasn't
to.
successful. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I practically just did it for myself just to survive, I guess.
Okay. Wow.
And it was tox. It was scary, I'll say, because I also experienced some domestic violence.
So it was an abusive relationship,
Right.
most physically and
Yes.
mentally.
and
I'm
em-
so sorry.
and
And
emotionally.
emotionally.
Yes. And although at the time I would justify, like, oh, it wasn't that terrible, like what he did,
Okay.
but I didn't know, like, how to get out of, like, because emotional abuse is still
Yes.
part of domestic
I think that's the
violence.
worst one.
Yes.
Because it never leaves you.
Right.
You know.
So yeah, and then as the kids got older,
Mhm.
I just started learning about what this looked like, and I realized, all right, well, I saw on social media, okay, manipulative,
Mhm.
lacks accountability, lacks empathy, and I was like, wow, this really fits what this person looks
Yes.
like to me, right? But I still never called him a narcissistic. Like, I never called him that in particular, or I never
Okay.
attacked him in that way.
I mean, you were in survival mode, so
Right,
it's just you were trying to understand, why is this person doing this to me,
right,
and you try to find your own answers.
right. Yeah,
Wow.
because I was just learning. And then I would say when I realized for sure that he was narcissistic, and when I was learning more about boundaries, this is maybe like 3 years ago,
Okay.
when around a little bit before the baby was born. And I'm so grateful for my therapist now, because she's really the one who has helped me with my boundaries.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
And if you know me, you know I always advocate for everyone to go to therapy.
Mhm.
It has changed my life.
Mhm.
It has made me better, and I
Yes.
think healing makes such a difference when you know who you are.
Mhm.
It also helps with what you tolerate,
Mhm.
and when it's time to set boundaries, therapy has done a lot.
Yes.
And I'm very happy that you're there.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm a huge advocate too. Yes, because I've seen the changes that it's done to me
Mhm.
and with my family. I
Mhm.
also have my two older ones in
In
therapy.
therapy. Okay, good. I was going to
Um,
ask you that question.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wish my parents would have done it for me when I was little.
Okay.
Like, I wish I had the tools, or
Mhm.
like been able to understand myself a little
Mhm.
bit more, and where is this, like, whatever it is that I'm going through, like, where is
Yes.
this coming from? Because that's the core of it all. And yeah, boundaries have a lot to do with your own accountability,
Yes.
you
Okay.
know. So yeah,
Whew. Well, that's
it's
powerful
good.
and very honest.
Yes.
Um,
Thank
a lot of people listening might can relate to moment of realization, and a lot of our partners, or a lot of partners, they won't take that accountability to say, you know what, I
you.
need
Mhm.
help. I need to get better.
Right.
What kind of emotional toll did co-parenting with him take on you? Especially, like, how did it affect your peace? And not only that, your confidence as a mom.
Yeah. It was. I'm telling you, I feel terrible for even the people that was around me, like my kids, um, my parents, because when I was a single mom, I lived with my two kids and my parents.
Mhm.
Um, my partner, my fiance now,
Yes.
like, it took a toll on me, therefore it took a toll on everyone else too, because I didn't know how to control this myself.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I let this person take control
Okay.
over the situation, because I didn't know how to set those boundaries. So yeah, it would really ruin my peace. There was days where, like, I would have so much anxiety, like,
Mhm.
and I would think to myself, like, wow, is this me? Like,
Yes.
like, am I the problem? Because
You just knew this wasn't normal.
yeah, because like it was always like, you know, I had expectations of him to, like, if the kids are okay, if I'm okay, the kids are okay. You know, so why is this person, like, you know, and I always expected him to be there more, like, financially, emotionally, physically for the kids, and that's what I was trying to co-parent with.
Okay.
You know, and I wanted, it was an expectation, which obviously led to a disappointment. You know, and I realized after going to therapy, like, that is out of my control.
Yes,
like,
it
you
is.
know, yeah,
You can't control the next person. You
right.
just, and the sad part about narcissistic partners are it's the people that they hurt that ends up
Yeah.
in therapy. It's never them.
Yeah, and that's what I get too. Like, it's like, you know, yeah, he never wanted to attend therapy. He also didn't want the kids to do therapy. And again, like, when I mention my ex, like, I don't mean it in a bad way either. Like, you know, I really do wish him the best.
I mean, you have 2 kids by him,
Right.
so I mean, you want the best, not only for him, but if he's better,
Right.
so are your children, because
Exactly.
they're seeing a healthy
Yes.
co-parenting situation.
Right.
So
Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah, this is primarily because I feel like I'm in a better place where I
Okay.
hope that this story will help someone else.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love that we talk about peace, because peace is always the ultimate goal. I talk about that all the time, whether it is in friendships, workplace, relationships. Peace is always the goal.
Right.
What kind of boundaries have you set
Okay.
to protect your emotional well-being, and how do you enforce them when other parents don't respect them?
Yes.
So when you set those boundaries and he crossed that line, what do you do? Because I know you probably get pissed off, like, oh my God, again, but then you have to probably step back, like, I'm working on myself.
Yes.
So what are the boundaries you've set,
Mm-hmm.
and what do you do when they're not respected?
So I realized that when I respond to him, I give him access to my peace.
Yes.
You know, so I have to have a good, like, good control. Like, my therapist told me, you're the one in control.
Yes.
You know, and how do I do that? Because, you know, she made me realize that the accountability is like what you're allowing. What is it that you're doing?
Yes.
Right. So it's responding. It's not responding,
Okay.
you know, and one of the things that I guess I'll share is, so I have sole legal custody of the kids,
Okay.
and I follow the court order.
Okay.
Like, if it's not in the court order, then there's no need for me to explain anything. So that's
Okay.
my boundary.
Okay.
Like, I primarily, if it's not about visitation, if it's not about, like, you know, notifying you,
Okay.
then I won't have, like, I don't have to.
Okay. So I've spoke to other parents about co-parenting, and when it's toxic, I've been told, like, they don't speak to the parent. They'll have the kids, like, if they want to reach out to the kids. So how is that relationship? Does he talk to the kids when he wants to, or
Yes.
only when he has the kids?
Yes. So in the court order, it does say that he is allowed a phone call a day.
Okay.
So yeah, if he,
Whatever is in the court order.
like I always say, you're always welcome to come, and you want to have more time with the kids. It's
Okay.
just about boundaries,
Okay.
right? It's like letting me know ahead of time.
Okay.
You know, you want to speak to the kids. If I'm available, yes. Like, you know, at a certain time, like, you know, I'll, you know.
Do he
it's-
usually cross those lines? Or since you've set those boundaries, he's followed?
He will.
He's-
I feel like he always will, to
Okay.
be honest with you. Like, you know, and I'll make it clear, like, hey, I'm not available right now. Like,
Okay.
we're at church or whatever. And he's like, he'll say something to want to trigger the situation. But I
okay.
just I don't respond to that anymore.
Okay. I think a lot of people need to understand that boundaries are not meant to control the other person. It's meant to protect you and your peace. You know, now let's talk about the hardest part.
Yeah.
The kids.
Yes.
I have a question here.
Okay.
How do you protect your children emotionally when
Mhm.
the other parent uses manipulation,
Mhm.
guilt,
Mhm.
or control tactics, especially if your child start picking up on those behaviors? Because in homes when co-parenting is hard enough,
Yeah.
but when one parent use, talking about the next parent's manipulative, withholding certain things because
Yeah.
you like that person more, how do you deal with that for your child emotionally?
Yeah. So one, therapy.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
So yeah, and I just realized I could only control what I allow in my house.
Mhm.
He could paint me out to be the villain, and I'm like at the point now, like you really have to have a good self-esteem, like like confidence that
Mhm.
you're a good parent.
Yes.
Like I'm a great parent,
Yes.
and no matter what you say to to my kids,
Mhm.
like I know my value.
Okay.
So yeah, like that doesn't shake me anymore. Not like, and it feels good. It feels so good because I used to be afraid of how, like, what the kids might view, or even if they pick up on things. Like I feel like my job, I can only control, like taking them to therapy, at checking in with them, how what can I do
On
in
your
my
end.
part to do better for them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I can't control anything because regardless, he's going to probably say things to
Yes.
manipulate, like, and
Yes.
that's out of my control. Like
Yes.
I can't control that. You know,
Beautiful. Did your kids witness the physical abuse?
they were little. They
Okay.
were, yeah. My daughter, she was a year and a half,
Okay.
and yeah, Mateo was like a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, so they don't remember, but they have seen like the fight, like the
Argument.
arguing.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All right.
now I really do try not to put them in the middle,
Mhm.
like, and I mean by trying, like I set those boundaries now. Like,
Okay.
no, 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 like your father can communicate with me about this,
Okay.
you know.
I love that.
Yes.
You're not trying to control him, just modeling stability.
Mhm.
I love that.
Thank you.
Love that. That's huge.
Yes.
All right, let's dive in a little bit on communication,
Okay.
because I know with some narcissistic co-parents, every text can turn into an argument.
Yeah.
What's your communication strategy? Do you use the court apps, parallel parenting, or certain rules to limit conflict?
Yes.
I know you say you follow the court
Mhm.
documents to the T,
Yes.
but when you're communicating, does he text you? How do you guys communicate? Is
Yeah,
it a
so in the court order is text messages or
Okay.
emails only.
Okay, so no
Yeah.
phone calls.
No phone calls.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just keep records, like,
Okay.
boom, boom.
Okay.
you know,
Wow.
like, but I just try, I don't know, I guess I feel so good at talking about this now
Yes.
because I know that I just don't allow any of it. Like, it's been working so far, the text messages and the emails. Um, and I'm trying to think. I was looking into the core apps,
Mm-hmm.
but it hasn't gotten to that point yet.
Okay.
I don't think it will, because I've set good boundaries now.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what was there? Was there another question?
No.
Oh
That was
yes,
the
and I do use
certain rules to
parallel.
limit the conflicts. Oh, you do use the parallel
And
parenting.
communication, yes. So
Okay.
communication, I use I think it's called the Gray Rock method,
Okay.
where I just don't engage.
Okay.
It's like minimum contact.
Okay.
And also parallel parenting.
Okay.
So the difference between the two is, there's two different. He has a different parenting style than I do.
Okay.
We tried the co-parenting, like let's try to do, this together. We've even invited him over, but it was always like his way, and it
That
was
sucks.
or he would tell me it's just my way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like I'm trying to make this work, like,
For the
you know,
kids.
for the
Yes,
best interest
yes.
of them. And yeah, it just didn't work. It is sad because, you know, but I've
He's
passed
lost
that.
control. When you've lost control, they're not happy about losing control.
Yeah. Yeah. And I realized that, yeah,
That's control.
yes. Like he could just go on in text messages and I just like leave it on red.
Yes.
And you
Wow.
have to, yeah, you have to be unshakable. Like, you know, yeah.
Well, you should be proud of yourself because I'm proud of
Thank
you.
you.
You've come a long way.
Thank you.
You have come a long way. And you can tell that you've done the work. And therapy is the biggest one, but even in your conversation, your body language,
Thank you.
your energy, you're not requiring any validation because you know who you are now.
Right.
So that's a beautiful part.
Yes.
So I don't know about you, but for me, and I know a lot of people as well, I've been in therapy since I was 28 years old. And, but still, there are times when people and things trigger me.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you,
yes.
how do you keep yourself from being pulled back into that emotional chaos? And
Yes.
what help you stay detached and grounded
Ooh,
besides your faith?
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, it's definitely, God has worked so great in my life. He has been keeping me grounded on top of therapy.
Okay.
It's those two things that's really been pulling me together. But, yeah, like, I would say I started going to church in February. And I'm just so grateful. The community, my therapist, and I really do believe that God put my therapist in my life. She's Christian too, and yeah, like she's the one that really holds me accountable. Like my triggers are my responsibility for me to fix. You know, it's not my kids, it's not my partners. They're my responsibility. So I need to, it's important to ask yourself the questions like, where is this coming from?
Okay.
You know, and work on it. And it's not easy.
No.
Like, you know, there is times where I do want to crack, like,
Yes.
you know, and I have to wheel it back in.
Yes.
You know, it is not easy. But yeah, I do think, the community, the church community, the support, my biggest support is my therapist, and her name is Rosa.
Beautiful. That's beautiful because healing isn't just about, you know, cutting people off and just boundaries. It's about not letting them control your emotional state. When someone, I feel like when someone controls how you react, they control you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, tell me.
Okay. So I know you say faith and your community and your therapist. How about your friends? Do you have friends? And that's one of the things I can say I love in my life. I have great friends. I have friends where if I'm going to crack or if I feel like I want to curse someone out, I'll call my friend and be like, this is what I feel. And they'll, you know, and I can vent and then I feel better. And then I get myself back like, okay, because we're all in therapy. Therapy is good, but therapy is also a mirror. And some days I don't want to look in the mirror. Some days I want to take your head off. And what I love is that I'm very big in my faith with God, but sometimes I also question God, like, why did you put me in this situation? And I know it's a test. I know it's that I need to have a testimony later, but sometimes I do fail because sometimes I do break up. But what I found over the years, the people that's in your life, they also hold you accountable. Because if I call a friend and they're like, yeah, take her head off, I'm like, all right. But if I make that phone call and they're like, yeah, Mish, you're above that.
Right.
You know, that shouldn't be, you know, let it go. Or, you know, this person is going through whatever it is. Because it's never about us when someone reacts.
Yeah.
It's just our triggers.
Yeah.
So
So
how
yeah,
are your friend system?
I will say that my best friend is Hugo. Yeah,
Aww.
and it's a hard
So
thing.
she's saying her best friend is her fiance.
Yes.
Just for us, all of us who don't know who Hugo is.
Yes. Yeah, he is my biggest support too. Yeah, because usually I always ask myself, am I crazy here?
Yeah.
Like, did I say this already in this communication? Like, I'll screenshot it and I'll be like, am I going crazy?
He's
But
like, no.
yes, he's like, no. And there's times where I even feel bad bringing other people into this type of conflict with those traits.
But you just want that validation that
Yes.
you're not crazy.
But sometimes I will say,
Yeah.
he has told me, ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I do.
Okay.
And I recommend it for people because it'll
Hmm.
give you a fast suggestion, how to deal with, and you'll tell that ChatGPT as a therapist.
I think I'm the only person that's not on ChatGPT.
Girl,
My
you
kids
gotta hop
told
on it. But I'll tell you that I don't use it that much. He
Okay.
talks to it.
Oh wow, that's not like I have a friend like that, and
Yeah.
she's gonna be watching this episode as well. She also says every time I do something, and she'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna talk to Chat," but if she needs something important to be written,
Yeah.
she calls me,
Oh.
and then I'll go, "What happened to your chat?"
Yeah, yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
And she's like, "No, Chat can't handle this one,"
That's nice.
But that's nice that you have that.
And we have to take advantage of the resources that we have
Yes.
now. Like,
Yes.
and it's there. It's free, it's quick. And sometimes you need that quick response. When
That's
you're
good.
dealing with a narcissistic
Yeah.
trait X,
Mhm.
like I think that, yeah, like,
You know what's beautiful, and I think what I took for granted with my husband
mm-hmm.
is when a man is emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
When you go into the world and you start talking to so many different people,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh my God, you can't even have a conversation.
Yeah.
Or if you have a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
it's no accountability, as you said, or it's they don't understand
Mm-hmm.
the empathy part.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my God, intellect is amazing,
right.
but emotional intelligence,
Right.
it's another thing. And I think that's where a lot of couples lose it.
Well,
You know-
the first thing that I got right now that you told me this is like, I can't believe that I was with someone like that.
And you have to
know?
forgive yourself.
Yes.
You have to forgive
And
yourself.
I have,
Good.
but yeah, like there's times where, like, I also see certain traits in my kids that it's like and I'm like, oh Lord, please, work on them.
But you know what? You're doing the work.
Yes.
You're doing the work.
Yes, and I also have my kids in church as well.
Mm-hmm.
The youth program, Monday huddles, and yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I know.
All right. Yeah. All right. Whew. Before I even get back to any questions, it's a lot of people. I don't know about you, but I've come into contact with so many women. And you see how you can say, this person is not diagnosed, but I've seen the traits.
Mm-hmm.
I've researched.
Right.
A lot of them, and I won't say you're lucky, I'll say you're blessed to have been able to get away.
Yeah.
Because so many others, they're in that relationship right now,
Right.
and they're not financially stable. So, their spouse is the breadwinner.
Right.
So leaving is not an option. I mean, it is an option, but for them, you've been in it 10, 20, 30 years of this person controlling your finances, controlling where you go, controlling what you say. It's my way or the highway.
Right.
And a lot of these narcissists, they've been through so much in their childhood
Mm-hmm.
that they haven't dealt with.
Right.
So in adulthood, it's like they're just lashing out at
Yeah.
everybody because it's going to be the next person after you. It's going to be the
No,
next
yeah.
until they stop and take accountability.
Right.
And usually they never do. But I've spoken to so many women, and it's what's the sad part is they'll say to me, you know, he does this, he does that. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's a narcissist.
Yes.
But they haven't done the work
Right. And it's
and
so
the
sad
research.
because, yeah, like you said, usually most narcissists will never even realize
They're
that
narcissists.
they're a narcissist. And therefore, they're never going to even look for that help
Mhm.
or, and I have talked to him in a way where I empathize with him. Like like he had a rough upbringing, you know.
Majority of them do.
Yeah.
It's always that childhood, that
Yeah.
teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
It's that trauma. And I've seen like a lot of them. It's a mommy issue, daddy
Mm-hmm.
issue. They're trying to be like dad. They're trying to get dad's approval.
Right.
If dad is a womanizer, they're a womanizer. If they saw
Yeah.
dad beating the woman,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
repetitive, and
Yeah.
they don't think anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Many of them will say, "My wife knows how I am. She knows what
Right.
I went through."
But what I find interesting
Mhm.
is that he realized that there was a problem in his home, like, with his parents. But it's like, that's the reason why he didn't want to have,
Kids.
he didn't want to be in the relationship because he was just afraid that it was just going to continue into the same type of relationship that he saw with his parents.
So he was aware.
Yeah.
He was aware,
Yeah.
but he did nothing about it.
Right. And, he was in a relationship for a long time, and I liked her too, his ex. But yeah, at the end of the day, I do pray and hope peace for him, and healing, because yeah, like I know that he'll benefit from it, the kids will benefit from it.
I love that we have that Hugo is your support, and I love that we have community because we need people. Some people might think they don't need people, but we need people to remind us, who we are when someone try to break us, because sometimes it's important. It really is, because we get into that space. Even me today, it's like, why is this person doing this? Or even when we've done the work, we're doing the work and we've identified like, okay, I'm not reacting. Why are you still reacting? So I think most of us always just give us that grace and remember, it's not about you. It's what they're dealing with internally that they're not fixing,
Yeah, because like I had that question, like, is this me? Like, because it always felt like, oh my God, like I feel terrible. Like the kids are gonna feel like, this, like, they're like, why is he acting like this with me? And why is he not around more often? This was years back. Like now there's stability, I would say, because of the court order and the boundaries. But I'm talking about like the very beginning, which was hard. But yeah, like.
Do he get along with your fiance? Are there any communication?
Yeah, you see, and like we tried that. We tried the co-parenting thing, but then there was a situation that happened with Mia, and of course, like, he messaged Hugo like, hey, like,
oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
aggressively.
So they have no communication.
And Hugo tried to set his boundary like, hey, like, this is our home. Like, what the rules that we have in our home, like you may co-parent differently, you may parent differently, but if Mia is doing like, if she's not supposed to be doing something, and they're kids. Mia is right now, she's 12 years old. She's learning how to manipulate the situation.
Yes.
Right. So she's learning like, oh, I can't get my way with mom or
But
Hugo, so
dad.
I could get my way with dad.
Okay.
And I've tried to have that type of conversation with
your fiance.
with my ex.
With your ex. You've had that
With my
conversation
ex.
with your ex and also your fiance.
Well, of course, yeah.
But your fiance, and because of that one situation,
right.
they don't speak. So it's just the conversation.
No,
it's just
it's just hi, bye. Like
Okay.
now, yeah, now because we tried, we wanted, like Hugo and I, we wanted a co-parent. We
Okay.
wanted to do this for the kids,
Okay.
you know. But
For the audience who doesn't know her, Hugo is her fiance.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Go.
Um, so yeah,
Okay.
it becomes challenging when we have two different parenting styles, you know. And then I feel like I'm painted as a villain
Okay.
because I am stricter in the sense where, you know, like she can't have a phone right now,
Okay.
and dad wants her to have a phone,
Okay.
you know, and I just don't feel like she's ready to have a phone yet. Like, you know,
Okay.
she has ADHD. Um, I have a good value in the sense of why she shouldn't have a phone. It's not,
Okay.
and Mia's like, oh, but everyone has a phone. Like, that's not a good value. Like, you know, what?
So basically, you guys don't, whatever your boundary is at home,
Right.
it's not there when they're okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, like that's a parallel parenting,
Yes.
right? Like that is like now I was about to say his name. So my
No.
ex was like, you know, he'll ask me like, oh, what are you doing with this situation? And
Okay.
I'll just say like, hey, I already notified you about this.
Okay.
I will take care of it. Like, you know, like I set my boundary. Like I don't feel comfortable like explaining to you what I'm going to do. I'm, you know, from
Good.
home.
Okay. So the dynamic is you have two kids with your ex.
Yes.
Your fiance has one
Mm-hmm.
before you,
Yeah.
and you guys share one together. So you're a blended
Correct.
family of four.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for being here.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I
Okay.
know there is so many women again who are not as strong
Mm-hmm.
and not as blessed to walk away from their situation, and they're
Mm-hmm.
still in it.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to someone who's just realizing, like they're hearing you talk about your traits and realizing they have no boundaries, realizing like, oh my God, I'm being abused. If it's not even physical, it's mental. If it's not
Right.
mental, it's emotionally. And I think emotional abuse is the worst because that control,
Mm-hmm.
it takes everything away from you where you're seeking validation every single day.
Yes.
So what would you say to someone in similar situation? Like what's one piece of advice you will give them about surviving and thriving through it? Because you've done a great job now, like your smile, your
Thank
you
you.
know, your body language, your energy.
Yes.
You've given yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you give someone that's going through it right now?
Well, I would start off with saying you're not alone. Like, you know, in the situation, you're going to feel like you're so alone in this situation, but you're not. Look for the support. I also went on Facebook groups
Okay.
for co-parenting or parallel parenting with a narcissistic ex. That's kind of where I first started.
Okay.
So I would just say, yeah, look for the support. You're not alone. Talk to other people who have also gone through the situation. Um, Therapy. Hold yourself accountable. You know, you are in control. What can you do in the situation to not allow it? You know, you are in control. And yeah, that's what I would tell someone. And yeah, pull your people in to get that good support, whether it's faith, your friends, your church. Yeah, that's what I would tell someone. Yeah, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You know, that's one of the things that my therapist also told me. Like, I was sort of afraid to come here, but it's like, what am I afraid about?
Yes.
Like, I have good intentions. Like, you know, I mean well. Don't
This is
be
actually,
afraid.
and it's your truth.
Yes.
It's your truth. It's your story.
Yeah.
Now he might have a different story, but
Right. Right.
but this is your story. This is what you lived. This is what you went
Right.
through. This is what you have survived.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's powerful. And I know someone listening right now is like, okay, oh my God, I'm going through this.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote something. I normally close out with just thank you. Everything is great. Come back next week. But I wrote something and I want to tell everyone, like, if you are co-parenting with a narcissist, you need to remember this. Your peace matters more than anything else. Your child needs the healthiest version of you, not the version that's constantly reacting to someone else's dysfunction. And boundaries aren't selfish. They're actually sacred. So always remember that. And your healing doesn't mean you go against them.
Right.
That's not what it means. It means you're finally free.
Yes.
Okay. And I want to thank Maria for sharing her truth
Thank
and
you.
for your strength.
Thank
Um,
you.
And if this episode spoke to you, please share it, like it, and leave a review. And make sure you're following Both Sides of the Bed with Kemesha on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And again, if this resonate with you, I am sorry that it does, because no one deserves this. You deserve to be happy. You deserve with a partner that's emotionally intelligent, a partner that sees you, a partner that puts you first. And not only that, a partner who understands that when a relationship doesn't work, because not all of us, not our relationship works. Sometimes we outgrow each other, and that's okay. In every situation, we outgrow each other. But when kids are involved, that's the part where you're not selfish. That's the part when you become a parent and you put those kids' need first above yours. So to any woman going through this, find a therapist, find a friend, find a community, find a church.
Yes.
Because in doing that, you're going to find you.
Yes.
Until next time, protect your purpose, protect your peace,
Amen.
and honor your growth.
Yes.
And never apologize for choosing yourself. We'll see you next time on Both Sides of the Bed with Kemesha.